Hi, this is Mark Meyer from Martech Hero. In this video, I wanted to show you guys a tool called Poper.ai, which is a SaaS tool that allows you to put pop-ups on your website. So you could use this for things such as growing your email list, announcing a flash sale, promoting a special offer, or just keeping visitors informed with an announcement of some kind. So Popper is the best tool I've ever seen for this, and I've tried a ton of these pop-up tools. And it has the same functionality of tools like OptInMonster for like a fraction of the price. You could take a look at it at Poper.ai, and I'll put a link below in the comments as well. And just for transparency, I am not affiliated with Popper at all, so I get no commission or anything if you buy Popper, but I just wanted to show you how great this tool is. So let's jump in. So first, after you sign up for Popper, you're going to get some JavaScript that you're going to have to add to your website for the Popper to work. And this is really easy to do. And they have this great installation section of their website that explains how you install this JavaScript depending on what you're using, whether it's WordPress or BigCommerce or what have you. But basically, you just install some JavaScript that looks something like this. It doesn't slow down your website at all, and it works great. But it's really easy to do, and within no time, you're up and running, and you can start configuring your banners. Okay, now I logged into Popper, my Popper account, after I added that JavaScript to one of my websites. And as you can see, it's getting page views now. No impressions or conversions yet because I haven't yet added a pop-up to this website. So we can close this welcome to Popper. And let's just walk through a quick example of how this works. So I'm just going to simply create a new pop-up. And then it says create a new pop-up. I can choose a template. I could start from scratch, or I can use AI. So the use AI is you basically explain, I need a pop-up to collect email addresses with an image of this on the side. And you just kind of give it detail of what you would like. And it would attempt to make a first stab of creating that pop-up for you. On this scenario, we're just going to go from choose from template. So I'm going to select that. And as you can see, there's a lot of templates that they have, and I noticed that they keep adding more. So let's say we want a newsletter sign-up template, and we'll just pick this one. So this is just our starting block for creating a pop-up. Now I'll create one for this Martech Hero site, so it has nothing to do with beauty, but that's fine because we'll just use this as a shell. So first I'm going to click on this image. And I'm going to change that image to something else. So I clicked on the image. I'm going to hit change. And I'll go to the file. And there we go. We got a new image there. Next, I'll start changing some of this text and the fonts and those things. So I'm going to click on their heading. And I could just delete this heading too if I wanted to. But we'll call this sign up for R, and then I'm going to change this instead of pink, we'll change it to black. It's just black. Okay, and instead of that, we'll just go for a more basic font. And on this line, I just clicked in the next text box here. We'll say the Martech Hero newsletter. And I can add something here like get updates from Martech Hero. Okay. And I can change the size of that if I want. Pretty much anything is customizable. Yeah, we'll collect name, we'll collect email. For the button, once again, let's go into the fill and border. I'm not a big fan of the pink. We'll just make it nice and easy. We'll make it black. And of course, then we got to make the text white so we can see it. Okay, so this looks pretty good. So that's great. And then up here in the top, you'll see this is the main banner. But then we have something that says from success or from error. From success, this is what happens after they submit this pop-up. If they hit sign up, it goes here. If there's some kind of problem, it doesn't work for some reason, they would get this page.
So then next we just simply go to like the success page, for example. And once again, I'll just switch out the image, and just for speed here, we'll just say we'll keep it like that. And the same with the air page here. Okay. So now we have those 3 separate pages, if you will, set up. So then up here, if we want to, we could click this add menu, and this can allow us to add other components. For example, if I wanted to add more text, I can just click the text, and as you can see, it added this block, and I can move it anywhere I want. We don't need this, but you get the picture. You can just like add an image. There's an image, and you can, like, once again, you could drag it around. Super easy to use. So once this looks good, we can move on to the next step. Oh, I should point out real fast that this is the desktop version, and then it shows you what the mobile version will look like as well. So we're going to just click next. So we're going to go to the next step in this workflow. And now I'm on the display conditions page. So this is the triggers that we have options of. So after page load, if I click that, it says, when do you want it to load? And you could say immediately, or I could say after 2 seconds. Or you could do it on scroll. If you scroll a certain amount percentage down the page, it'll pop up. And as you can see, if I click this, it means it's activated. There's a check mark. But if I click it again, it's not activated. So right now, it's only using this trigger on this trigger page. But the other ones are exit intent. Like if you go up and try to leave the site, it'll pop up. Inactivity, if the user's not doing anything on the site, after like 30 seconds, it could pop something up. On click, you could select the CSS selector, and once they click it, it's going to pop up. Or even if you hover over a CSS selector, you could have it pop up. And down here, you'll see that it says when your pop-up should be closed. So the default is just to keep it open until they hit the X button or click off of it. But if you want it to auto close, you could say have it close 30 seconds after it pops up. So that's the triggers. Next, over here under display conditions, like I said, we just went through the trigger. So now we're going to select the next one, which is pages. So this simply asks us, do we want this to appear on all pages or only specific pages? The default's all pages, but let me just show you only specific pages. So you could say show only on specific pages, and you could add a page here that you want it to appear, and you could add multiple pages if you have a few pages you want this pop-up to appear on. Or conversely, you could have it show on all pages, but hide it on specific pages. Let's say there's a page you don't want this pop-up to appear on. Then you could hide it, like the checkout page or something. You don't want a pop-up to show up when they're about to check out. So you could have it hid there. So we'll keep that in all pages. The next option here is frequency. And as you're seeing as we go through this, there's a lot of details, and this tool is really thought of every possibility that you could think of. So this is how often should the pop-up be displayed? So this is every page. So every time you go to a new page, pop-up comes back, which is a bit much. Every session. So like once a session, it'll show up. And if you come back later in the day, it's a new session, then it'll show up again. Or you could say once every certain amount of days. Now the default here is days, but you can also change this to page views or something like that. You can change it to days, weeks, months, or page views. So if they see it once, maybe you don't want to show it again to them for another week. So you could put after 1 week, show them again. And then this says, when should we stop displaying this pop-up? So this pop-up's going to keep showing up until we tell it, okay, stop showing this. If we don't select anything, it's going to keep appearing based on the other criteria. However, if we say, stop displaying it after they close it, so if they hit X, maybe they don't want this offer, and so don't show it to them again. Or obviously, if they convert, if they give us their email address, we probably don't want it to pop up again because we already have their email address. So we would say after converting. And this is great. You'll see a lot of those cheaper pop-up tools, and you guys have probably been to websites like this, that every single time you go to the same website, you get the same pop-up, and it just gets aggravating after a while. Well, you can control that user behavior much more fine in this tool. Next is device. So you could say, do I want this pop-up to show up in desktop or mobile or both? Sometimes, depending on your design, you might want to design it a little bit differently in mobile. So sometimes it's good to have your own mobile version. Maybe the desktop version doesn't scale well to the mobile version. So you can do two separate pop-ups and just target one for mobile and one for desktop, or you could just choose them both. And then finally, audience. And this section right here gives you more control than just about every single pop-up builder out there. So you can say only select new visitors or returning visitors or both. The geolocation, it allows you to show or hide the pop-up to visitors from specific locations. So you could like maybe not show it if they're in a certain country. UTM, if they come through a special UTM link from an email, you could either show it or you could select hide if a UTM source meets something. The browser language, the traffic source, cookies. This is a feature that OptInMonster allows this, but hardly any have this feature on it. And why is this good? This is one of the biggest selling points in my opinion. So one scenario is if you send out a newsletter, let's say you want people to sign up for your newsletter, but they're already signed up for your newsletter. And then you send out the said newsletter and they click the link. Okay, you can have a parameter be loaded onto like a UTM parameter even, loaded that says they came from your newsletter. And then you could easily set a cookie. And I actually have another video on Martech Hero YouTube channel here that shows you how to do this really easily. But you could set a cookie that says basically they came from a newsletter at one point. So if they already subscribe to your newsletter, you don't want to keep bombarding them with pop-ups that say sign up for our newsletter. That's just ridiculous. But so many sites do that. But you could say, okay, if they came in from a newsletter, load a cookie, and basically on the cookie, you could set this up, but then you could say hide if the cookie name is whatever source contains email or something, whatever your cookie is called, and then once that cookie is loaded to their computer, they will never see your pop-up again if you already tag them as a newsletter subscriber. And this is a feature that I could never find in any of these pop-up builders, except like the high-end ones like Just Uno or OptInMonster, but those are drastically more expensive. Next, you could target operating system, what operating system they use, down to the browser they're using. You could target by an IP address. You could either block an IP address or only show it to certain IP addresses. And this is ad block. So if you have ads on your site that you depend on for revenue and somebody has an ad block program on their PC or on their browser, you could pop up a message that basically encourages them to turn off their ad blocker. And then it also has an e-commerce section that you could set like Shopify filters and things of that nature. So this all looks good. And then, so I'm just going to go next. And this is where we can set up an integration. So if you recall on this particular one, we're trying to capture email addresses. So this is saying, okay, I got an email address and I got their name. What do I do with it? Now, if you don't do anything, Poper still collects it. It's still in their system and you can still retrieve it. But if you have like a MailChimp, Aweber, what have you, you could send that information over to your mailing software, so it adds it to that particular list. And as you can see, there's a whole bunch of these to choose from. And if you look at their roadmap, they keep adding more and more. So they got all the big players here for sure. So just for an example, and each of these might be slightly different. To send out my emails, I use a company called Sendy, which is a self-hosted. It's a great tool, by the way. It's self-hosted. You send through AWS mail, but it works great. So I'm going to search for Sendy, and there it is. So I'm going to select that as my integration. So now on this screen, it says add Sendy integration, select an API key. If I already created an API key, I could hit this drop down and I'll see my key there, and I could just keep reusing the same API key. This is going to be a new one. So I'm going to click new key. I'm going to enter a name for this key. It's called Martech Hero. Enter the API key, and then my Sendy hosting URL, and then the list ID. And this is stuff that's all, I got it all from, in this case, my Sendy account. It's all listed there, easily to find. And then once that looks good, I just simply hit next. Okay, now it says, these are the fields that I set up on my Sendy account. I just have two fields, email and name. So for email, it says, what's the Popper input field? So that's going to be email. And then the name is going to be in the name field. The name field from Popper is going to go to the name field on my Sendy account, and likewise with email. And then I just hit connect, and it's all connected. Next, we're just going to go to the final step, which we can click here, or just simply click the next button. And it says it's all ready to go. So then you can, once you hit save and publish, it's live. Or at this point, if you want it, before you turn it live, you can go back, you can check anything that we just did. You can make changes to it. You just kind of go down this list here, and that opens up all our triggers. And you can see everything set up and review. Also on this page, and some other pages as well, you can go up here and you can actually change this title. So I can just call it Martech Hero Newsletter. And also up here, this little button right here, you could do a preview of what it looks like on your site. So you can kind of get an idea of what that's going to look like. And then let's go to the last thing, and we can hit update again. And now all our changes are saved. And then to turn it on, it's down here as the latest campaign, and you can see it's in the X, it's in the off position. We can simply just toggle this to on, and it's now on the site. And that's pretty much it. The pop-up banner is now on. So if visitors go to the website, they will be prompted to it. I think we set it after, 2 or 3 pages. I think we did 2 pages. They'll see the pop-up, and they can enter their email address, and it'll be passed over. Just to show you how some of this looks, up here you'll see there's a drop-down menu or arrow next to where it says Martech Hero. You could actually have several different websites on the same account if you wish. So I have a few websites out here. So if I just pick another one, so this one I just turned on a Popper for a couple days ago. But up here I'll tell you how many page views. And this is the impressions. So the impressions is actually how many times did the pop-up actually appear. So on this particular site, I don't have it showing up like on every page or anything like that. It's more selective, but it gives you your conversion and your conversion rate. And then you could change the period from 30 days to see what kind of report you want. Like there's the last 7 days. You can kind of see how the conversions are going. Now, I said the leads are automatically sent over to our integration. In my case, it was Sendy. But I said you could also see those within this tool if you wanted to. And over here, you'll see this little like database symbol. That's leads. If you click on that, it'll show you all the leads that came in the time that they came in. And like for that, you could actually switch to your other projects and you could just see like all of the different leads. So that's about it for the demo. And just to go over the pricing real fast. So I hopped over to the Poper.ai plans and pricing page, but I am not affiliated with Popper in any means. They do have an affiliate program. I actually just never bothered applying for it. So I'm just giving you my honest opinion. I don't get any anything if you buy Popper or if you buy OptInMonster or anything. I was just really a fan of the tool, so I just wanted to share it with you guys. But anyway, here's the plans. So you could try it out with just this free plan, which is actually pretty generous. You get 10,000 page views, which is pretty good for a free plan. And if you have a kind of a small website, that might even be enough. But you can just try out some of the features, and then you can go up to the different levels here. And as you can see, what mainly changes is the number of page views and the AI credits. So the AI credits, again, is like if you want the AI to help you create your own pop-up. But the page views go 50,000 is only $7 a month. This is, of course, if you pay annually. $20 a month is 100,000 page views. $40 a month is 500,000 page views. So you can see it's super affordable, especially when you compare it to like OptInMonster. And I'm just gonna slide over OptInMonster's pricing, and this is what you gotta watch out for with OptInMonster. So they say their basic is 2,500 page views, which isn't a ton. Popper's free version gives you more page views than this. But that's $7 a month, and then 10,000 page views and 25,000 page views and 100,000 page views. They don't show you all the pricing once it goes above 100,000 if you get a lot of page views. But one thing to keep in mind is these prices here are introductory prices for the first year. You will not get these prices the second year. And no matter how much you try, they will not give it to you. So, for example, this 100,000 page view for the first year, it's $37 a month. But then normally, when you renew it after a year, it's going to be $123 a month, which is a drastic increase in price. Compared to this, where you get 5 times more page views for much cheaper price. So it's really a no-brainer. I've actually been a customer, full transparency, of OptInMonster for many years because I've always been looking for a better alternative, and I've never found one until I found Popper. And just to give you an example, this is just my billing from OptInMonster. So way back in 2021, I signed up for their introductory plan, and I have several sites running on this, and some get a little bit more traffic than others. So my first year was $376, and then I renewed and I lost that, the first year discount, and then it went up to $768. And then they said, well, this, that, and the other thing, you're doing these things and you're using this cookie thing and whatever. Like the using the cookies and what they call advanced features cost more. So then I went up to $960 a year. Yeah, these are each for the year. But this is drastically more expensive than Popper. And Popper does all of the same stuff that OptInMonster does. And in my opinion, the UI and setting up the ads is actually much easier in Popper and more intuitive than it is in OptInMonster. Like I said, I'm not affiliated with either of these sites. Whether you buy one or another or neither, it doesn't matter. I don't get any commission. I just want to share my experiences with it and kind of just help promote this Popper because it's just a great tool. If you have any questions, please let me know. Or if you would like to see anything else about this, let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to help you. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.